Anyway, we could also bang on equally about the Newsreader, but one thing that we've continually noticed with this show is the discourse around it. For example, the newsroom is surprisingly diverse for the time. The chief of staff is a brown-skinned man. Commercial newsrooms in 1986 were not as diverse as the program pretends, and definitely not so Asian. Predominantly white critics pointing out that a cast isn't white enough to be realistic is a pretty weird take, and we're going to talk about it for a sec. Firstly, diverse is a big word here, since we're really only talking about 2 cast members out of a core ensemble of about 12 white characters. But yeah, it must have been hard for some critics to push past that. Second, we know that newsrooms weren't 100% white all the time. Actress Michelle Lim Davidson pointed out that there were diverse people behind the scenes, saying that these people existed because they are alive and they tell us. She also responded directly to the casting criticism, adding, "If you are not happy for me to play the lowest person in the office who is struggling to make a career, well, you should know that Lillian Chin was already a newsreader for SBS at that time." Exactly, the very presence of Lillian Chin on camera in the 80s points to diversity behind the camera too. And thirdly, even if the newsreader is revisionist, which it isn't, who cares? The fact remains that it's a show made in 2023 and shouldn't need to be held to a subjective casting expectation of another period, real or imagined. For instance, Hulu series The Handmaid's Tale deliberately deviates from its source material of a specifically white dystopian setting to instead cast diverse for the TV adaptation. Showrunner Bruce Miller explained that the difference was between reading the words, "There are no people of colour in this world," and seeing an all-white world on your television. Therefore, blind casting was the right approach there, because otherwise they'd just be making a modern show that's a bit racist. Just imagine for a sec that your primary criticism with a TV show is not how well written it is, how meticulously researched it is, or how electric the direction is, but you were distracted by the number of Asians, and then committing that point of view to an article. Well, we don't have to imagine, because that's a real take that multiple people have had. Though I understand it's hard to grasp the specific reality that a show is set in. Sam Reed, for example, would have only been 12 months old in 1988, so he can't have been a newsreader then. Plus, that isn't the real RFDS. I'm pretty sure they're just a bunch of actors. And this show, I think I'm on a set, and I wrote this bit months ago. Hal?